Yo, what up, radio nerd? What's good with you, bro? All good. Accents behind. I know, dude. Sometimes it's like for me, it's like move this over. It's like kind of relieving to get it over with, dude. I told my mom because it was just me and my mom and my stepdad, just us three. I was like, let's not do gift exchange. It's a hassle, dude. If it's just us, it's just an excuse to have some family time is fine. So the topic is healthcare a right? Oh, thanks, radio nerd. You saw the live stream with my mom? She is, I'm seriously blessed to have her as my mom, for sure. I mean, she's done so much for me. I mean, everyone's mom does a lot for them, but my mom like goes above and beyond for me. She is a great mom. She never did any of those live streams while I was in jail, but I think it was just stressing her out, dude. Like Direct D told me, like, dude, I think your mom's like hard time in it. And she was. That's why she doesn't like my activism. Like she likes it, but she I was in jail like when I was younger and and a teenager and the 20s and stuff like that. So like that's what led me to my activism. Like I say, the first people that are going to be attracted to the message of liberty aren't the prom king and queens and the valedictorians, it's the misfits and the punks. So she just gets scared for me, she doesn't want to deal with all that. I get it. Kind of like disappointing though, because she knows like everything about my sister, what's going on with her, because she's like the overachiever, I'm like the black sheep. She's like going to school, she's getting her PhD and she's this and that, and like she knows all the stuff about her, but like, she doesn't, like, I'll ask her to watch one of my videos and she won't. But it's okay. What's up, Deb? Thank you. Yeah, so Deb, I don't know what you look like, but you're black, right? I think I remember you saying that you're black. And then when you do the thumbs up and stuff like that, it's usually a black one. And health is a basic human right under international rights. Okay. Well, but see, in order for something to be a human right, though, you have to make someone else your slave, right? And like, if you have a right to someone's services, and by definition, that makes them your slave. And I know people use the argument, well, there are plenty of doctors, they're making tons of money, like they don't care. But just like by a definition, though, right? Like, if I'm entitled to your services, then it's a slave, it's slavery, right? That's why I don't think it can be a human right. I'm not against international healthcare or whatever it's called, universal. I mean, I'm not really for it either, but I haven't really made a decision. But I don't know if it's a human right, though. I mean, it would be great if it could be, but just by definition, it means that someone's your slave, just like in the slavery times in the United States, right? Um, they got paid, they got food, and they got housing, and then crappy pay, right? So I don't know. I'm an Aboriginal woman, not dark skin, light skin. Oh, okay, cool. That's what's up. So you're like native to Australia? That's cool. USA, America is as good as how we treat the least among us. Yeah, I could agree with that. But does that make, universal health care a human right, though? I mean, there's lots of good services, right? Let's say, okay, let's say Regan Benson for her homeless outreach that she does. What if people were to say, hey, homeless outreach is a human right, right? So if you're homeless, you have a right to homeless outreach, to people like Regan to come and bring you, set you up in a motel or give you resources or bring you hand warmers or food and stuff like that, right? To help you, when you're a victim of, you got arrested for being homeless or something, for being on a sidewalk, and she'll kind of help you and take you to court and kind of try to see if she can help you with sign up for the public defender, all that. Like if that's a human right, then that means people have a right to her services. Like she has to do it. You know what I mean? That's why I don't think it's a human right. I think saying that it's a bad thing that people should all get health care is just fundamental principle, right? First Nations oldest culture in the world. Oh yeah, really? I didn't know that. Health shelter. So who provides the shelter then? Like the government? So what if the government were to pay all of the doctors? Then I could see that. I don't think that's the way it is though, right? Like the government doesn't pay. Well, I guess they have the health insurance pays. But it's not really, but it's like it's taxed, right? So your taxes go up. You guys know that guy? What's his name? He's a Canadian dude. His name's he's famous for that meme. It's like change my mind. He like goes to the schools and stuff, and he says this, and the other thing. Change my mind. Not the guy. There's another guy, Kirk something, but the guy before him, Crowder. You guys know Crowder? He's Canadian, and he did this YouTube video. Actually, dude, we should watch it. It's about, if we had enough people in here that are interested, we can watch it. I don't know why I did thumbs down, but he did this thing on universal healthcare. Like he had an emergency, so he documented it, and he went into the ER, and he was in the ER in the waiting room for like 10 hours, and that's not good healthcare. Like you break your arm and you just got to sit in the waiting room for 10 hours. And then what stories that I've heard is like in the United States, see, like universal healthcare doesn't mean good healthcare. The healthcare itself is better in the United States, though. Like if you need to see a specialist, right? Like let's say acne, you have acne, so you go to a dermatologist. In the United States, you go there, they put you on a regimen, they come see you back in 3 months, and then if it works, great. If not, then okay, let's doctor it up a little bit. Let's add this or take this away, see if this works. Come back in 3 months. If it's still not working, you come back in 3 months, right? Okay, finally, we got it. Okay, it's been 9 months. We figured it out though. Like in Canada, you go in to see a specialist. First of all, it's like 6 months to a year before you can even just get an appointment, right? So that's the first thing. And then you finally get in there, and then they put you on the first regimen. And now you got to wait another, maybe a whole year before you can come back because it takes time. There's so many, like they don't have enough people. So you wait a full year, it's not even working, right? And you come back in a year, it ain't working. Okay, well let's add this thing, and then you wait another year, right? It's still not working. That's 2 years, and then finally they add the third thing, and what would take in 9 months in the United States takes 3 years in Canada, right? The same thing with like, you need a shoulder surgery. You got to put it on the waiting list, dude. It's like, you can't just go in for a shoulder surgery. In the United States, you can schedule it next month. You're going to waiting a long time for it. You kind of just have to deal with it. Yeah. Like, I'm sure if somebody came in with like, a gunshot, they would to the chest or something like, something serious, they'd bump you ahead of everyone. But yeah, if it's like non-fatal, like you're not going to die over it, you're in there, man. You're just kind of stuck. Some Crowder. What's that guy's name? Something Crowder. Yo, what's up, King Charles? Good evening. Do you think that universal health care is a human right? It took me 18 months for a specialist appointment. It sucked, but I don't have private health. Right. So in Australia, do they have universal health care? It's just, for me, it's just like a fundamental principle. If anyone's entitled to my services as a doctor, then I just feel like that makes me a slave. You're entitled to my services. Like if I want to have my practice, I have to serve you. Like I can't turn you away. I have to serve you. You know what I mean? Like that's government. Government is supposed to be able to have to serve you, but a lot of times they don't. But I was thinking about if we get some people in here and you guys want to, I mean, it's up to you guys. But I was going to read some of that audio book, Freedom by Adam Kokesh. Kind of break some of it down. It's such a great book that I want to kind of share it. But we'll see how it goes. They have public health and private health services, and private patients can access the public system for different purposes. Okay. You know what I think? It's like everyone's trying to fix everything in a roundabout way, like putting band-aids on stuff, when really you could just get to the root of the problem, right? And you could end the Federal Reserve and you could eliminate the federal income tax. Just think about how much money that would save people, right? I mean, the Federal Reserve screwing everything up, like the fiat currency, right? Causing inflation like nobody's business. The what's it called? Something banking, fractional banking, I think it's called, where you deposit $100 in the bank and that gives them the ability to loan out $1,000. They get to loan out 10 times the amount of money that you deposit. So they're literally just creating money out of thin air, and then they're collecting interest on money that they never even had in the first place. It's like fraud. And that causes huge inflation. It screws us all over. That's why I hate banking. If I have to bank, because I have to have some banking for Google to send my money to, direct deposit, I use a very small like credit union. I don't use like big banks like Wells Fargo or Chase. But I mean, that would help. I mean, if you just end the Federal Reserve, what was it? One of the president, I don't remember who it was a famous president, said few things would benefit the American people more than ending the Federal Reserve. And that would be a great start there. And then from there, just end the federal income tax too. And we're like, well, if you end the federal income tax, how are you going to fund all this stuff, this, that, and the other thing? Well, you don't fund it then. Like you cut spending. That's what you do. Instead of everyone trying to raise taxes all the time, you just cut spending. You know what I mean? So that's what I think. But if you want to have like perpetual endless war in the Middle East and, enforce martial law on brown people, and which actually is the CIA calls blowback, where it creates enemies faster than you can kill them. Well, if you want to do that, for power and control, then you have to have a federal income tax. And if you want to have the Federal Reserve, you have to have a federal income tax, because you have to have a way to for the Federal Reserve to say, okay, I'm going to loan you this money, but what's your collateral? Oh, every citizen that you have, okay, with the Social Security number, okay, cool. You're going to tax them, all right. That's like how you pay them back, but you don't even pay them back all the way, because every time you borrow money, the only way to pay it back, taxes isn't enough. Like you have to just borrow more money. You're like robbing Pete to pay Paul. You got to borrow more money to pay the interest on the other trillion that you just borrowed. That's why, like the Federal Reserve, no matter what president you have in there, if you think Trump's your hero, like he's not going to make the debt go away. Like it's impossible. I don't care what president you have. It's designed that way. The United States will never be out of debt with the Federal Reserve. And they know that. And so does the Federal Reserve. They know it. The people don't know it. Hey, what's up, Thomas? Thomasville Transparency. I know the system that's in place now, in my opinion, is a major scam that only set up to line the pockets of the rich by viewing humans as cash cattle. Well, it is a major scam in the way that there's so many cures. In my opinion, there's so many cures for things that they know about, but you know, the healthcare industry is a multi-billion, I don't know, maybe even trillion, I don't know how much, but definitely at least billions dollar industry, right? But if you cure something, then there's no money in cures. Everyone knows that, right? So you cure them and then they don't come back, and that's it. It's like a one-time thing. But if you can just keep somebody to take this pill for the rest of their life, I mean, you can make, you know, look how much more money you can make. So that's how it's a scam, in my opinion. You know, just like in the Bible says, and like I've said, I'm not a Christian, but the Bible has some good stuff in it. And it says that the love of money is the root of all evil. It's not just money is the root of all evil. It's the love of money. So that would be an example, the love of money. Because instead of elevating humanity and let's curing all these diseases that they have cures for, you know, there's already cures for cancer. I'm not a doctor, it's just my opinion, but I'm not giving medical advice or anything, but they say that vitamin B17 cures cancer. And you know that vitamin B17 is banned in the United States? It's a vitamin, dude. They banned it. Why would they ban it? Because they know it cures cancer. And then hash oil, what is it? CBD, high doses, like that Charlotte's Web stuff, is supposed to cure cancer too. Like they have cures for stuff. HIV is probably another one. I'm sure they have cure for herpes, like all the stuff that you can't cure. There's cure. Every disease there is, there's like an herbal cure, a natural cure for it. The owners won't allow eradication of the Fed. Like who? Like the fourth branch of government? Like the actual, like the Rothschilds and stuff? Like them? Like people say, like, well, who's in charge? The Federal Reserve or the United States? Well, the Federal Reserve is, because we're in debt to them. And that's true, but like the United States is also the ones with all the guns, right? So it's kind of like this mutual respect thing, you know. Sorry if you can hear my neighbors vacuuming up there. So it's kind of like, you know, they're both in charge. I mean, yeah, but we could just say, hey, we're not going to pay you if we had to, and we got all the guns. What's up, Crofty? Oh yeah, that's true. They create the problem too. They create it, dude. Like I think HIV is like man-made. I mean, how come there was no HIV forever, and then all of a sudden it came like in the 80s or something? And they're saying because some dude like, you know, was getting it on with a monkey or something like that or something, dude. Like, yeah, right, dude. They put it on. They did that on purpose. But it's a big giant scam. I'm just a big proponent of the free market. You know what I mean? Because everyone, the free market is voluntary. Everyone is getting, they're engaging in an interaction, in a transaction, because they believe that it benefits them. the most, and it's voluntary, right? Like I said before, I have this orange and you got $1. I'm going to give you the orange, you give me $1. It's mutual, it's voluntary. You got what you wanted, I got what I wanted. But as soon as you say, like, you have to provide oranges, you know what I mean? Like, it's a human right for everyone to have oranges. Well, like, dude, now it's like I'm a slave. It takes away that harmonious freedom that we have. You know what I mean? Like, it makes things just kind of puts like a bad vibe on it. Yo, what up, Tag? Oh, you think there's a new one coming? No, I haven't read about the spars. You know what I did hear about though? Like, it was a prediction from Nostradamus, and I guess I saw it on a couple like Facebook reels and stuff, where they're going to come out that like aliens exist, and I think it was in 2028, and it's that I don't know if this is real, but I'm like, I don't put anything past. I have an open mind. Like, I like this conspiracy stuff. It's at least entertaining. That the human beings are really just cattle. Like, it's like they're farmed for the aliens to come and like eat. They like, I think they drink the blood. And the last time that they did that was in like the year 1300 or something. And like, this is the scheduled time. They're like, we're going to allow the human beings to exist as long as every so ever many years, like, we come and we take out 90% of the population and we harvest you and eat you. And then 10% of you get to live to repopulate the planet. We come ever so often or whatever. But like, you heard of like the Illuminati stuff, right? Where they say they're trying to kill off 90% of the population. They want to get the population is going to go down to like 500,000 from 8 billion, whatever it is, to 500,000. That would make sense. Kind of coincides with that. I'm not saying this is true, but just thinking about it. And then, the government, I don't know if you guys know, some of you probably do, about that stuff that's going on. I can't really talk about it, but some people like stuff like some people really like pizza, cheese pizza, and they like pasta, and they like to play dominoes on pizza and pasta, and they got handkerchiefs, that seem pizza related and stuff like that. So what they do is these people, like, they're like, it's kind of like cannibalistic type of stuff behavior. Like, they like torture people, and then they drink their blood, and it gives them a high, and then it's supposed to keep them young, and they make them live forever. And so I'm wondering if that's kind of like the thing that, like, if that was true, the aliens are doing, you know what I mean? So they kind of like, they know what's coming. That's why they have like DIA with all the underground facility under there. Like, all these places have, there's all kinds of videos on it. These like hotels have them too, like underground living facilities, whole fully staffed and everything like that. So like, when something really happens, I don't know if they're planning on it happening, then they can just go underground and they'll have to repopulate the planet and start over. Do you guys think that that this reality that we live in is a simulation? My Christmas was good. It was just me, mom, and my stepdad. My sister, she didn't come out. She lives in Pennsylvania, and so it's just us three. Usually it's just me, my mom, my stepdad, my sister, my brother-in-law, and my nephew. But he's one now. So last year he was there. How was yours? What'd you give? Because Christmas isn't about getting, it's about giving. So what'd you give? I didn't give anything. I told my mom I don't want to do gift exchange this year. Let's just not do it because it's just us three. But do you guys think it's a simulation? Deb says she agrees it's a simulation. I mean, lots of scientists and physicists are saying this is a simulation. You know, the chances that we're like the very first one is, really highly unlikely. There's probably a simulation inside a simulation. You know what I mean? But people are like, well, okay, look how vast the universe is. How could it be a simulation? You know how powerful that computer would have to be? Well, yeah, that's true. It would have to be really powerful, but think about it. It doesn't have to be as powerful as you think it has to be. Like even if you're just playing your Nintendo, right? It's like some Super Mario Brothers, the old school, right? Like it's not showing the entire game all at once, right? It's only showing the part of the game that you're on, that screen that you're on. And then you warp and you go down the tube, right? Get on the pipe and then it boom goes into the next one. Now that level that you were just at, that's not part of it. It's not reading that. It's just codes, ones and zeros, right? So it's not using that much computing power. That's why they say if this is a simulation, if a branch falls in the middle of the forest, does it make a sound? No, it doesn't make a sound because it doesn't exist. What these scientists are saying is like literally if you leave your house and no one's here, then it doesn't exist. It's just like it's like you warped to another level in Mario Brothers, right? That level that you just warped from doesn't exist anymore. It's just not there. It's still there in like code, ones and zeros. That's how your house is. If no one's there to observe it, no one's there to experience it. And consciousness expanding drugs, LSD, you guys know Timothy Leary. He did a whole bunch of like acid back in the 60s and stuff. And he wrote this book. And it's called he wrote a formula. It's A plus B plus C equals rainbow. A being the atmosphere, B being the moisture in the air, and C being a set of eyes capable of visualizing it. Without the set of eyes, it's like having two hydrogen atoms and no oxygen. Like you have to have the oxygen to make water, right? It's not going to work. So without the set of eyes to visualize it, it literally doesn't exist. And this was in the 60s, dude, like way before the simulation thing was around, and from consciousness expanding drug. That's why they say they're consciousness expanding. So I believe that to be true, man. I don't think that things really just exist until you're there to observe it. And I think that a lot of people too are just backdrop people. I think the majority of people, they're called NPCs, non-playing characters. You guys heard of those? Where they're just energy. They're just part of the program, right? Like when you're playing Nintendo and then there's like some guy there. Like the person that has the consciousness, Mario, is you, but you're the consciousness by playing it, right? You're the one holding the controller, right? You're the consciousness, right? Like Mario in the game, that's like the body and the mind, right? But its body and the mind's not real. What's really real is the soul, the consciousness, the person that's holding the controller. That's the real thing, right? Like you can't just go push a whole bunch of buttons randomly and beat the game. There has to be something you, the consciousness, to like figure out the game. That's like how you are, your body, mind, and soul. The body and mind is just something that you possess. It's not who you are. There's something behind that, the consciousness that's experiencing it. You're noticing that you're the noticer of your thoughts. You're not actually your thoughts, right? So that's kind of like what it is, like from that perspective. Mario is the conscious one, right? But everything else, all the bad guys and all that stuff, those are just NPCs. There's no consciousness because there's nobody with the controller to move them. It's just part of the program. That's what NPCs are backdrop people. It's part of the program. Most people, like you go to King Supers, or we call it King Supers. It's a Kroger. It's like a grocery store. There's tons of people in there. Most of them are NPCs. They're not even real. I wonder how many people are actually real. They're just people that you manifested. They're part of the play. You know what I mean? Like life is a play. Like when you die, you'll be like, oh my gosh, I took that so seriously. But when you go back and you look at it in your life review, you'd be like, oh, look, it's just a play. There's all the actors are getting ready to go on stage, kind of like the Truman Show. You know what I mean? Like the Truman Show is like they're telling you like how it really is. You know, they do that in Hollywood a lot. So like, oh, he's coming, get ready, everyone get in your positions. I even thought that when I was a kid, I used to think that. I was like, what if I always think that like I was the one? It was weird. I was like, I wonder if I'm the only one. I didn't really know what I was thinking. I knew what it was that I was thinking, but I didn't like think of it as non-playing characters or backdrop people. You know what I mean? And so, I know some people in here probably think I'm crazy, but this is kind of stuff I talk about in my spiritual channel. Yeah, Crofty knows. And I'm not the only one. Like a lot of people know about non-playing characters. I mean, like I said, scientists, like all this stuff that was magic, 20 years ago, magic is just science undiscovered, right? Like if you take your cell phone back to the founding of this country and started showing people like what a cell phone does, everyone would think you're a witch. Like, oh, it's magic, right? But it's really just science that hasn't been discovered yet. That's all magic really is. And we're very primitive. Like people think we're so advanced, dude. Like we literally just had this technological explosion within the last like 30 years. I mean, you want to say like, okay, from the invention of the car, like 130 years ago or something, like 130 years out of 100,000 years the human beings have been around. That's like a drop in the ocean, dude. That's when our technological advancements start. We're in the very infancy stage of technology. This is like nothing. Cell phones and computers, live streams, like that's like nothing, dude. We give it another 1,000 years. That'll be technology. And then really, dude, give it another 1,000,000 years. You know what I mean? Like aliens, they're like probably 1,000,000 years ahead of us. That's how primitive we are to them. It'd be like if we went back in time and caveman, you know what I mean? It'd be like, oh, these guys don't know nothing. Hollywood tells the truth, but we don't believe it. I believe that too. They're always telling the truth. They're like throwing it right in your face because people are just too dumb to believe it. And I was saying before, like the Truman Show. The Truman Show only works if Truman believes, right? If he buys into the reality that's provided for him. But as soon as he starts questioning his reality, the system falls apart. It doesn't work anymore. And that's how I feel like government is with us, right? It only works when we believe it. When we start like being capable of critical thinking and questioning this, like, hold on a second, it all collapses. Just like you've seen that meme where it's like a bunch of politicians, rich guys playing Monopoly, and all the people that are holding it, a bunch of peasants, they're like the table underneath, holding up the game, holding up the board game. And the meme says, all you have to do is stand up and it's game over. And it's true. If all those peasants stand up, the board flies, it's game over. That's all we have to do. And we have the numbers, not them. So people just got to wake up to that. But it only works because people just buy into it. Yeah, we need a lot of government. You got to pay your taxes. It's a violent, scary place out there and all that stuff, You buy into it. That's how it works. They want you to buy into it. Yeah, but I was wondering, I was like, man, these NPCs and stuff, like I try to start conversations with people. Sometimes like I've been doing this where I'll see somebody walking down the street and like I normally would never say hello to them, but I'm starting thinking about NPCs, backdrop people, and I'll start a conversation. I'll be like, hey man, how's it going? And like I was consciously doing this. Like I normally wouldn't do this, but I'm gonna try it out to see if this guy's a backdrop person. And when I did that, it's like the guy didn't know how to respond. It was like a glitch, dude. And like he didn't say anything to me. It was weird, dude. It was like he didn't know what to do and like just kind of kept walking. It was weird. Or somebody could say, oh, maybe he's just socially awkward or something, but like just do that. Like if you normally wouldn't talk to someone, like usually when you're talking to someone, it's like your intuition, your spirit guides, your higher self saying, hey, this is a real person. They're not part of the program, or maybe they are, but like they're programmed to help you through a certain way or whatever part of your journey. But like just randomly, like, oh, dude, I normally would never talk to this guy. I'm just going to do it on purpose and just see what happens. You know what I mean? It's weird because they can only do like what they're programmed to do. So if you try to catch them, with their pants down or whatever, it's like, oh shoot, I'm not programmed for this. I don't know, glitch. Like just walk away. Yo, what's up, King Chow Chow in the house? You said you have like 7 dogs, right? So what do you think, King Chow Chow? Do you think that what do you think about backdrop people or NPCs? Think they're real? It's a real thing? Yeah, you got like 7 dogs. Oh, yo, what's up, Ben? Were you in the chat last night? And you had to go to work, right? Was that you? Yeah, okay. It was you. How was work, man? Working the graveyard, dude. I never worked a graveyard job. Hold on, I'm gonna close. I had to open the window because it was like kind of hot in here, but it's getting cold now. Hold on. So I had to go try to return my camera because if you're in here last night, my camera was like super dark, remember? And I had to switch it to this camera. Look at it now, it's fine. So I went to return it and I didn't have the box. So like, oh, you can't return it if you don't have the box. I was like, but so I'm supposed to just keep the box for everything that I buy from Walmart, just in case you happen to sell me some piece of crap that doesn't work. Like, I didn't keep the box. I was expecting that it was going to be working fine for longer than 3 weeks, So I was like, okay, whatever. Charge to the game. And then I had this audio mixer that I bought. Me and DirectD bought one each, but it doesn't work for Macs, I found out. So I was like, oh, no wonder it's not working. It was super cool, man. You just push all these buttons, got all these sound effects for like your live stream, and you can like do an echo, and it's got like, it looks like a battle mixer, like you're spinning records. It's like a little one. It's got little levels on it. It's got a fader. And I returned it, but I didn't have the receipt. And so they just gave me like half price because it was like on clearance. They gave me the clearance deal and it was on a gift card. It's like, all right, whatever, charge it to the game. But then when I went to return this thing, I was looking for my receipt and I couldn't find it. I was like, oh, I bet you it's in my wallet still. So it was in my wallet. I checked, it was in there. And I bought the camera and the mixer at the same time. So I went and talked to him and I was like, hey, look, this is what happened. I didn't have the receipt, but now I have it. And you guys only gave me $12, but I paid $29 for it. So can I just get the difference? And I knew they're going to give me a hassle and no, can't do it. And I was like, well, basically you guys got like $17 extra from me for nothing. I returned the product. You can resell it. You know what I mean? So what can we do? And so I had to talk to the manager and he was like, well, the only thing you can do is go back there and buy another one with the gift card at the discounted price and then just return it with your receipt. And I was like, cool. So I went back there, and then the guy was trying to figure it out, and that same manager came up, and then all of a sudden he changed his mind. Oh, wait, actually, we can't do it because we don't have it for the clearance price. We only have it for full price. So you have to go to the other Walmart, the one that I returned it to. You have to go to that Walmart and do it. And I was like, I have to go to that Walmart and do it. What? Seriously, dude? I was like, can I talk to someone else? Who's your boss then? To go. And then no, they get all butthurt about it. Oh, there's no one else. I'm the floor manager. I was like, well, dude, there's someone above you, man. Well, the only person above me is the general manager, and he's not here today, and he'll be in at this time. I was like, all right, whatever, dude. So I just left. And I drove to the other Walmart. I was like, fuck it. It's not that far. So I was going to drive there. I went and check it out, and no one knows they don't even have them there. That's the one where I returned it to originally. They don't have them. So I went and talked to the manager. I was like, look, this is the deal. Explain it to him. And, she was actually cool. She just was like, all right, this is what I'll do. I was like, you can just keep the gift card and like refund the gift card and put the cash in the till and then just refund this receipt that I have. That's fine. I'm not trying to scam you guys. And she just did it for me. It was totally fine. And like that other guy could have done it for me too, right? But he didn't. He was like, they're like, see the thing with companies like Walmart, especially because, they always got like stuff behind glass and you can't leave electronics with it. You got to like buy it right there. And they're like, I know they have a lot of people that steal stuff, but it's like sometimes they're overly concerned. They're so concerned about people stealing stuff. They think you're trying to scam them that they're literally like scamming them, their own customers. Like if I wouldn't have went to the other Walmart, I would have just basically got screwed out of, it's not that much, $17, but it was more the principle of it. Like they just got an extra $17 out of me for nothing. You know what I mean? Like you're the one screwing the customers now. So I was like, you know what? That's why I like Target. I know Target is a little bit more expensive than Walmart, but their return policy is so much more lax. And there's a theory. Like, okay, yeah, there's people who try to scam us. That's true. But how many customers are not trying to scam us and we're actually scamming them, or we're screwing them over because we're trying not to get scammed? People don't like that. That's why the free market works and they can go somewhere else. So maybe Target was like, hey, you know what? We're going to have a more lax return policy. We're not going to accuse or just insinuate that everyone's trying to scam us all the time. You know what I mean? And so that's why I was like thinking today, I was like, I'm just going to go to Target from now on, dude, instead of Walmart. So the free market works if you utilize it. But anyways, I kind of thought there are things that were like spiritually guided for that to happen to me, because I went to that other Walmart, and then as I was leaving, there was this homeless guy in Inglewood, and he had like crutches and like a broken foot, and like I just glanced over at him, dude, and like I could see the anguish in his face, dude, and like he was in like agonizing pain, or like he was just, you could tell, man. I knew he wasn't faking it, dude. I felt it. I was like, oh shit, dude. So I like parked and I like walked over to him and talked to him. It's like, hey man, what's going on, bro? And I talked to him, was like, he was almost in tears, and like he was in crutches, and his foot was all like had a big old cast on it, and like it was all filthy, you know what I mean? Because he lives on the streets, and it was white, and it was all. He's like, yeah, dude, I broke my ankle and I tore the ligaments. I got to go in for surgery, and people out here just think I'm trying to scam people. And I was like, hey man, do you know who Regan Benson is? And he's like, no. And I was like, do you out here in Inglewood a lot? He's like, yeah, Inglewood here and South Denver. I was like, because she does direct homeless outreach here in Inglewood and South Denver. And he's like, do you have her contact info? And I was like, well, shoot, I didn't know how to like give it to him because I don't know her email or anything. But I was like, I gave him my business card. I was like, here, man, do you have access to the internet? Like, you go into this library right here. And he's like, oh yeah. I was like, you check out my channel, dude. And if you look at any of my videos with Inglewood City Council, like her channel's on there. And then you can go to her channel, and then her email's on her about section. And she might be able to give you some resources. I just felt bad for the dude. And then I gave him some money. And like, I know Regan, she doesn't ever give money. She's like, she'll do stuff. Like she'll buy him a motel for the night, buy him some food, but she won't give them money. And I gave him some money. I'm not going to say how much, but it was more than like most people would give. And he was like, oh, for real? And I was like, yeah, man. I was like, I hope that, and like, here's the thing with like, I don't want to give him money because, they're going to buy whatever beer with it. And like, he was telling me a story. He's like, yeah, dude, I was hooked on fentanyl, and then I was taking, what's that stuff called to get people off fentanyl and off heroin and stuff? I think it starts with an M or something. You know what I'm talking about? The clinic that they go to. He was like on that, and I got done with that. I don't do that no more. And now I just drink. And he had his little beer there, like in his little, had this thing around his neck with like a little carrier. And I could tell he was drinking beer. He's being honest. I just drink beer now. Methadone, yeah. Thanks, John and King Chow. Um, and so I just gave him some money, dude, and he was like really thankful. And then he left because like I gave him enough money, he didn't need to sit out there anymore, dude. It's kind of cold, and who cares, dude? Like the way I look at it though, like I get it. You know, you don't want him to spend it on beer or whatever, but I mean, dude, maybe the guy just needs some beer, dude. I mean, you know what I mean? I mean, now he's got some money, he can get some food, and you know, he can get some beer if that's what he needs, dude. You know, to get by, dude. You know what I'm saying? So I think again, I was saying, I think maybe that's why I was having a difficult time with Walmart too, you know, because remember that when you're learning the lesson, it's always difficult, but the blessing always comes after the lesson's learned, right? And you don't really understand things until finally it's over. I'm like, oh, dude, I would have never met this guy if they weren't giving me a hard time at Walmart, right? So I don't know. I felt like that was meant to be or whatever. And, you know, like it's true. Like the universe, God, source, whatever you want to call it. Like there was this example. Somebody said that this guy used to let his little pet rat or whatever out of the cage all the time and let him, you know, run around the office or whatever every day. And then all of a sudden he didn't let him out. And like the rat was like, oh, this is unfair. What's going on? You know, like you do when you complain about when stuff bad happens in your life. Oh, God's not there for me, blah, blah, blah. What the heck's going on? But like what the rat didn't understand is there was a cat in there that the rat couldn't see. And if you let the rat out, the cat was going to eat the rat, dude. So like sometimes things are happening to you that you think are bad, but really it's just divine intervention. It's God protecting you. You know what I mean? But you don't know that. Kind of like what I was going through today with the Walmart thing. You know, it was being a pain in the butt. And I was having to drive all around the city, you know, not that far, but, you know, I wasn't getting it done easily. But maybe there was another reason for that. Who knows? Thanks, John. Yeah. Thanks, Crofty. And you know, just yeah, and you're right. I didn't share that story just for praise, but it's like for me, I feel good when I help someone. You know what I mean? Like the guy was like, I was like, all right, man, I hope that you have a good, I hope things get better for you, dude. And I was gonna give him a fist bump. He's like, can I give you a hug? And I was like, yeah, sure, man. And I gave him a hug, dude. And like I could tell that like it really meant a lot to him, you know what I mean? And like that makes me feel good. That's like an endorphin hit for me. And there's something about that, dude, that like I could just tell, like, because I can tell I've seen scammer people. Like there's this one lady who used to be crying at the same spot all the time, and then like we see her at another spot, like in another part of the city, crying with the same sign. Like, dude, okay, now like you're scamming people, right? But there's like I'm very intuitive, and I could just tell like this guy like did not like he was uncomfortable. I could see it in his face, dude. So you know sometimes if you're in the position, like I don't have a ton of money, dude. I don't. I'm in debt. I'm in a whole bunch of debt. But like I know that I have a home to come to. I have a warm house and I got a bed. You know what I mean? I got plenty of food in my fridge. You know what I mean? And so like he doesn't have that, dude. And I think, you know, most people are compassionate like that. You know, like a lot of, again, if you listen to the mainstream media, you'll think that the world's a cruel place, it's a violent place, and you know, it's just dog eat dog. But I think more people are are better than you think. You know what I mean? Like I've been saying for years, we live in the you're the least likely to be the victim of a violent attack today than any time in human history since we've been recording it. I learned that again from Adam Kokesh too. And it's true if you look at the statistics. We're evolving to be less violent, not more. But they don't want you to think that. If they were like, hey, it's the least violent time in human history, like, you know, they don't want you to think that because they got to justify all these extra cops they have on the streets, right? I mean, they got way more cops on the streets now than they did in the 90s. It was ever since Columbine happened that we used to go 1 week, 2 weeks with seeing one cop every 2 weeks. Now it's like every single day that I see cops. They just have more cops out there. Is it more violent today than it was in the 90s? I don't think so. Statistically, it's less violent. There's less actual real crimes. But they still have more police out, right? Why do you think that is? It's not because there's more real crimes. Yeah, Ben. I'm sure it made him feel like someone actually does care. Like, people just take stuff for granted, dude. Like, I have my mom that cares, and she's like she's the only one that I can like really rely on, like that I know I can. I know there's other people I can rely on, but if stuff hits the fan, like she's all I got. You know what I mean? I know I have her and I'm blessed with that, but some people don't have that. Like sometimes my mom told me one time, she's like, oh, I saw this homeless guy and, he was all dirty and grungy. And like, I saw him with a sign and I gave him some money and he came up and because, he looked older, he's dirty and he's got this beard. But then when he came up to her door, she realized how young he was. Like he was a kid. And then she said that her heart broke and she was like, oh my gosh, where is your mother? You know what I mean? Not everyone has a mother. Not everyone has a support system. Not everyone has a safety net. You know what I mean? Like if worse came to worst and like, I don't know, something happened and they foreclosed on my house or whatever, I don't know. And I was like, lost my job. I mean, a lot of people in the United States are literally like one paycheck away from being on the streets, dude. You know what I mean? That's how bad the economy is. There is really no middle class anymore in the United States. You're either rich or poor. The middle class people think, like the 50s, like real strong. Dude, the middle class is like a sliver. It's like single digit percentage wise, middle class. So people are one paycheck away from being on the streets. And, they say that a lot of homeless people, they have mental health issues, and they do. They suffer from mental illness at a much higher rate than the non-homeless. But you know what my theory on that, I don't have any evidence to back this up, it's just my opinion, is that people don't have support systems. A lot of people that have mental health problems, they have a mom and uncle and like grandparents that look out for them, so to keep them off the streets. But there are sometimes people, they have nothing. They're on their own. So if you have all this mental health problems and you don't have a mom or anyone, they don't care about you. Maybe they're a drug addict, they're a mess too, and you're on your own, dude, and you end up on the streets. And that's why I think a lot of people end up on the streets like that. And these people with all these mental health problems. What's up, Jenny? So what do you guys want to do? Do you want to listen to some of that audiobook, or do you just want to chop it up? It's Freedom by Adam Kokesh. It's his book. It's this one that I recommend everyone read. I had a bunch of books. I had a whole box. Adam gave me a whole box of them. I gave them all away already. I had them when I first started my channel. I had the whole box. And then I ran out. I used to give them away in like prizes. Like I do little like giveaways and stuff. And I'd give, like for my 50,000 subscriber thing, I gave away like some of these posters and like stickers to people. And then the book, Adam book, a bunch of little like knickknack stuff. I got like, gave it like DMA merch away. But like real people should read this. I just mailed a copy because I have like 3 copies left now, not signed ones, like just regular ones. And I mailed one to Flex Your Freedoms because he's been wanting one forever. And I keep telling him I would mail it, and I keep just forgetting. And he told me, actually, dude, he's like, on one of my comments, he's like, dude, I just want to let you know, Adam unalived himself, dude, last month. And I just weren't sure if you were aware because it's your friend. I was like, what? And I called him, dude, and it rang like a bunch of times, and then voicemail. And I was like, well, that's good. If it rang a bunch of times, that's good. And I texted him. I was like, hey, dude, are you alive? I was like, this isn't a joke, man. Like, people are saying stuff. Are you okay? I'm worried about you. And then he texts me back. He's like, who told you that? And you go to his channel right now, like, look, I'll show you guys. I don't know why people do this, dude. It's so weird. So if you go to his channel, because I'm on his channel right now for the audiobook, but if you go to his latest videos, this one. Oh, look, this is what a comment I left 2 years ago. But if you go to like newest, look, let's see if you can see this. Put it on full screen like this. So people are saying, RIP, man. And then I regret to inform you that Adam Kokesh took his own life today, 11/6/24. Rest in peace, Adam. You gave so many of us hope. Right. And then why? That's so sad. And I couldn't find any source online because that's what I did. I went to the obituaries and tried to find some because I figured it'd be online. Like, there's no way he could have passed away, dude, and like no one know about it. You know what I mean? Like, there's no way. It would be all over. Everyone would be talking about it. So I don't know how. That's how rumors start. You know what I mean? Look, here's another one. R.I.P. Adam. I believe I heard Adam Kokesh died of self-inflicted GSW. R.I.P. Adam K. So I don't know where the heck people heard that because, oh, look, there's Deb Anderson. There's one I was telling you that I saw. Tell like it is, Adam. Violators and corruptors, cover-ups watching from Queensland, Australia. I was like, heck yeah, dude. And that was 4 months ago. Did you hear about Adam from me, Deb, or did you already know about him? If she's still in here. All right, man. Hey, Ben, thanks for coming in again, bro. Appreciate you, man. Good looking out. Oh, she left. But yeah. So yeah, so I mailed him a book finally. Should probably be there by now. But what do you guys want to do? Do you want to just talk like this, or do you want to read some of the audiobook, listen to it, and stop it, or do you want to watch another video? Is there some other videos that you think I should play that you want to watch or something? Like, this is kind of just like my just chill time. Like, this is what I do for fun. I just go live on this channel and just kind of talk to you guys and stuff. It's my entertainment. I have to think. I'm not just like a zombie just watching TV, you know, like whatever show's on. It's like you kind of have to think, you know what I mean? And if you're even in the chat, you got to think because you're like engaging. Videos? Which video do you want to watch? And you can't just put a link in the chat because for whatever reason, I can't play it on StreamYard. I can't just click it. I drink these bubblies. They're really good. My favorite one is the cherry one. It tastes like a red Starburst. But these are good because I like carbonation. But then you don't get all that extra sugar. And I drink those Topo Chicos too, the bottled ones, the glass bottles. Those things are like super carbonated. I don't have any in the fridge right now, so I'm drinking these. But I mean, you could leave those out for like 3 hours and they still have carbonation. One of the videos with Regan, which one? Let's watch one of the ones that I edited for her. How about that? Let's go check it out. Okay, we got popular. So her popular ones are the ones that I edited for her because if you just do live streams, I mean, live streams are great, but like there's only so much you can reach with a live stream though. Like eventually you're going to plateau on the views you can get and the subscribers you can get. So this is like the number one cop-splaining shutdown one. Sweet Tea actually recorded this. It's on her channel too. Lawless Cops Owned. This one's popular too. This is actually at the King Supers that I shop at. I found out about her. I was like, well, look, oh, I know that's my King Supers. I was like, who's this lady? This one's good. This is all the ones with the thumbnails are the ones that I edited for her. These three, I did this one for her. That one, this one, this one, this one. That's it. Which one do you guys want? Oh, yo, what up, Nathan in the house? What up, G? Let's watch the most popular one. And this one's crazy, dude. Let me put it up like this. It's a short one too.
Don't come over here and get up in my face and try to get confrontational with me. Okay? So why don't you turn around and go back where you came from?
I'm right here.
Well, I don't like you right here, and I didn't ask you to come over here. Thank you. My ID, were you looking at me?
No, I was looking at the pepper spray in the neighbor kind of way.
Okay.
I'll take your pursuit. Thank you. You won't be able to go into the courtroom with the water, with the bottles here, but you can leave them here on the table if you want.
I medically need water.
Or you get the permission from somebody else then, okay?
Okay, because I literally could pass out if I do not have water.
Okay, go ahead and take it in with you then.
Thank you.
Just saying.
Okay, so real quick, that was Sweet Tea. Now, everyone medically needs water, but it just goes to show you, right? Like she wanted to bring her dang water in, man. Like if it's that discretionary where like somebody can just say, well, I could pass out if I don't have my water, is okay, fine. Like it just shouldn't be a rule then. You know what I mean? It just let people bring their water in, man. I don't understand what's so scary about bringing a bottle of water in. You know what I mean?
Look, I get it. Everybody's just doing their job, but it's not appropriate for men to be wanting women.
Ma'am, I'm sorry, was there a problem? Is there an issue?
Well, now it was. My issue is the wand.
Okay.
So her issue was men wanting women. Some people think that's not a big deal. Regan does think it's a big deal. I don't really care, but you know, it's her concern. But see, this guy, this Marshall here, he had to come up. There was no more issue anymore. He just wanted to come up and flex his authority because she was talking back to the guy. You know what I mean? Like it's completely unnecessary.
Part of the courtroom security.
Yeah, I get that, but I find it inappropriate that men want women.
Okay, well, he's not putting his hands on you, and it is completely appropriate.
No, it's not.
Okay.
You should have a woman.
Okay, well, then you need to take it up with the judge.
Oh, do I?
Yes.
Oh, really? So you came over here, what, to get confrontational with me over that? It's simply not appropriate. I was confrontational? I was confrontational?
The security person.
Was I confrontational? You're not serious right now, right? You're not serious right now.
You're not.
Confrontational? Confrontational.
If you have a problem with the security procedures, if the court
I
doesn't-
simply told him that men wanting women is inappropriate. So don't come over here and get up in my face and try to get confrontational with me. Okay? So why don't you turn around and go back where you came from?
I'm right here.
Well, I don't like you right here, and I didn't ask you to come over here. So is there anything else you needed?
No,
Then turn around and go about your
I'm
way.
not going to turn around and go away.
Well, I guess
can
neither
stand
am I
here
then.
and
You want to
do
have an argument? We'll have an argument. Am I being ridiculous? No, I think you were being ridiculous, and now you're getting your ass called out. So now you want to keep going. You don't know when to shut the fuck up. Turn that fucking body cam on. I am not afraid of your fucking body cam.
All right? I simply asked you if you had a problem with.
And I told you what my fucking problem was. You want to keep going? Because I can have a long list of fucking problems.
Again, I told you where you take it up.
And I told you where you could fucking go.
Have a nice day.
You too.
I ain't gonna give up.
That is a classic, dude. That's a classic one right there. That one I made a short of that one. It's got a whole bunch, millions of views, and then like a bunch of people shared it. It's got like, that one's like famous, dude. That one's the most shared video. Like I have in YouTube Studio, you have like this copyright tool. It tells you all the people that shared your video, and like a bunch of people, like they do these compilations, like people getting owned or Karen's Gone Wild and like all that kind of stuff. Like the most popular one. So that was like a pretty good walk of shame. I mean, seriously, dude, the guy, like, do you see how he was like, oh shoot, he thought he was just gonna go over there and bully her. And then he kind of realized, oh shoot, I got myself stuck in, between a rock and a hard place here. And I didn't really know what to do. But I mean, it was totally unnecessary for him to come over there. Regan was right. He came over there to be confrontational. So he can try to, I told you that if you have a problem with security, blah, blah, blah. She's like, and I told you what my fucking problem was. So let's see what else. Let's see what else she's got to work with here. This one right here is good. It's kind of long though. This one's short. This is a typical Regan right here. These ones that I put together for, those are the old days though, but they're funny, dude. Let's watch this one because it's short.
What are you guys doing today? Guarding the park? Huh? Is it security? I'm just asking you a question. Can you not answer that question? Why are you parked on the lawn here? I'm curious. Is that how you interface with the public?
I've said nothing bad to you.
No, you didn't answer my fucking questions, and you walked away like a condescending fucking prick. Are you reproducing? Go get a vasectomy. Are you reproducing?
I'm sorry.
Give up your parental rights. Good morning. How are you?
Good, how are you?
Good.
So this cop right here, Regan and I had a video with this guy before. They called the cops on us because we were trying to take pictures in the jail, and they have like an order that you can't do it. But he seemed cool. It was a good video. But this guy and his son that works at the Denver Police Department, I don't know what ever happened with that. I did a panel on it. They got busted for like charging for hours for overtime or for like off-duty stuff like that on the taxpayer dime, and they got arrested, dude. Him and his son.
Do you remember me? Do you remember my face? I never gave you my name.
What was your guys' names?
Can't give you our names.
Right.
We don't answer questions. I'm not sure if I got your card. Can I have your card, please?
Hang on 1 second.
Okay. I just can't remember if I got your card or not. Because you remember that day, Pineda, you remember that day you admitted to stealing rubber bands?
Huh?
You got anything you're not supposed to have?
Yeah.
What do you got?
These rubber bands, we're only supposed to have 3.
Did you steal office supplies? You stole office supplies.
I've got more than 3.
I must send you to IA for that.
Son of
Yeah. Yeah, you got called over to the jail because 2 people were exercising their First Amendment rights inside the jail. Then you showed up, you talked to me and my friend. We wanted to search your vehicle. For anything unsafe. And you said, what, these rubber bands? And you admitted to stealing office supplies. I saw you pull your car up so you could be in the shade of that tree. I'm losing. All right.
I've had enough.
Thank you.
Like
It was
Popeye.
good to see you.
Popeye?
Yeah.
All I can
You do the Popeye?
It's me.
All right.
All I
I'm
can
going back
stand,
to the
I can't
library.
stand no more, right? Take care.
Have a good day.
Sorry. I always do that. But I was saying that, you know, people think that you're just over there to start a confrontation and stuff like that. And, you know, that's not true. I mean, you're nice to us and she's nice to you. That's all that there is to it. Right. And, you know, people think that, oh, Regan, she's just crazy. But I was saying, like John Winchester said, she doesn't beat around the bush. And that's really what it is. All you got to do is just be nice to us. And there is going to be no confrontation. You know, that was a perfectly good interaction she had with him. And people think that she's just like that all the time. And, you know, she's just crazy, a loose cannon, but like, it's not, you know, like when we go to a restaurant, she's not like yelling at the server, my food's cold, like throwing the dishes. You know what I mean? Like, people say that we're entitled as auditors. And yes, I am 100% entitled when it comes to government services because I'm forced to pay for it. I don't get a choice. The free market, you know, like if you treat me rude at, you know, Target or Walmart or a restaurant, right? I can just take my business somewhere else. You know, I don't have to give you my business. If you don't want my business, I'll go somewhere else that they appreciate it. But you can't do that with government, right? You're forced to use it. So yes, I'm entitled when it comes to that. Okay, let's get back to it.
Here's State Patrol. They're guarding the park. So this area is closed to the public from 11 p.m. to 5 a.m. But they're here on patrol. What are you guys doing today? Hi. What are you guys doing today? Guarding the park? Huh? I'm just trying to ask you a question.
Sorry?
I'm just trying to ask you a question. What are you guys doing? Guarding the park?
Yes, ma'am.
From who? Are we not allowed to come in it?
What?
Are we not allowed to come in it?
Oh, you can go in.
Oh, it's just like security? Is it security?
Have a good day, man.
I'm just asking you a question. Can you not answer that question? Why are you parked on the lawn here? I'm curious. Is that how you interface with the public? Aren't you?
Now, from somebody who's like a bootlicker and just, you know, thinks that you should just bow down to the police, they would think that she's just trying to start something. You know what I mean? Well, why are you parked on the grass? Like she's trying to create a confrontation. That's what they think. But it's not true. There's nothing wrong with holding your government accountable and documenting them. And she was trying to be nice. She's asking them, those are legitimate questions to engage with your government on. Are we allowed in the park? Yes, we are. Okay, so it's just security then? Is that, I mean, it's just a regular question. And this cop, he has that mind in his mind that, oh, she's just trying to bait us and all that stupid stuff that they think. And all he had to do was just be nice, just like that other Denver police officer was, right? It would have been this exact same interaction. That's why people say, oh, you never put any of the good interactions in. No, I do, but I only put them in when like I can show the contrast, right? On the same day, the contrast between this guy and the other guy. But if I just put the good ones in, like no one will want to watch it. You know what I mean? Unfortunately. So that's why I do it this way. But that's just a misconception that people have and these police have that they need to stop doing that.
A public servant? What the fuck is this? Why the attitude? Why the fucking attitude? Hey, I'm talking to you. Why the fucking attitude? You work for the fucking public. I was trying to nicely ask you a fucking question, and now you're gonna get treated like a dick. What's your name? R. Boone. What's your badge number? What's your badge number?
You say I'm.
What is your badge number?
You say I'm giving.
What is your badge number? Yeah, you're gonna get the same fucking attitude you just gave me, you condescending fucker. Give me a card or your badge number.
I don't have to give you a card.
What's your badge number?
I don't have to give it.
Yeah, you don't have to give me shit because you're up here and the public is down here, right? And you prefer us on our knees, don't you? You fucking condescending little fucker. Why don't you go sit in your fucking car since you can't interface with the public?
You're really nice, lady.
Yeah, fuck you. Nice this, fucker.
You guys know how I always talk about narcissistic traits, and that word narcissist does get thrown around a little bit too extra nowadays, but not saying this guy's a narcissist, but that's definitely a narcissistic trait, right? For, oh yeah, you're real nice, lady. Like, dude, what were you just doing? Like she was trying to talk to you and you just say, oh, have a nice day. and then walk away from somebody as they're trying to ask you a question as a public servant. And then see, that's what they do. It's called blame shifting, right? Then she reciprocates and matches his energy a little bit extra, but he's the one that started it, right? Being rude to her. And now, oh yeah, real nice lady. You know what I mean?
You get 15 seconds with me. You want to act like a condescending fucking dick? You're going to get treated like one. Because you work for us, fucker. And all I did was try to ask you a question. So get in your fucking car and shut the fuck up.
Ma'am.
Fuck you.
Ma'am.
Fuck you.
Can I say anything?
No. Give me your badge number.
I can't say anything, can
Give me your badge number. That's all I asked for.
Ma'am.
Give me your badge number.
Ma'am.
Give me your badge number. Give me your badge number. You fucking little prick. You see? You see this shit? And they fucking wonder. They fucking wonder. Look at him. You little fucking weasel. Go sit in your fucking car. And turn it off. This costs taxpayers money. Gas is over $5 a gallon. Turn your fucking car off.
Are you having a bad day?
No, but I think you are, you fucking piece of shit.
Ma'am.
Fuck you. Fuck you.
You're being unreasonable.
Fuck you. I'm being unreasonable?
Ma'am.
Well, so were you. You don't like it, do ya? You don't fucking like it, do ya?
Ma'am. I've said nothing bad to you.
No,
You've
you
been very
didn't
mean.
answer my fucking questions, and you walked away like a condescending fucking prick.
You've been
Exactly. I didn't say anything mean to you, but yeah, that's the problem, is that you didn't answer her questions. You didn't say anything to her. That was the whole problem.
very mean and unreasonable.
Mean and unreasonable.
Yep.
To a fucking tyrant who thinks they don't answer to the public.
Ma'am.
You deserve more of it.
You don't know me, ma'am.
I don't fucking need to know you. I asked you what you were doing because you're a public servant.
I'm not going to talk to you.
I'm just not nice. I tried to be nice to you. You don't like nice. See what you respond to? You respond to hostility because you're a fucking tyrant.
So this is one thing that I learned from Regan, and it's true. These cops, oh, you're not nice. And she was trying to be nice. He wasn't responding to nice, right? So look at what he does respond to, though. He responds to hostility. He didn't respond to her when, hey, what's going on? You guys just doing security? Why are you guys parked on the grass? You know, he didn't respond. He walked away from her. But look what they respond to. They respond to hostility, though. That's why Regan acts the way she does. She's like, I've tried being nice. They don't respond to nice. That's why I act the way I don't have any more patience.
Because you signed up for fucking violence, and that's the only thing you respond to.
Ma'am, I'm sorry you feel that way.
You know what? I'm sorry that you're a fucking tyrant, and you ought to get a new job.
Okay, you have a good day,
Are
ma'am.
you reproducing?
I'm gonna go hide in my
Go
car.
get a vasectomy.
Wow.
Are you reproducing?
I'm sorry.
Give up your parental rights.
Sorry you're having
Give
a bad
up
day.
your parental rights.
Wow.
Our boon.
Okay.
Give
have
up
a good
your
day, ma'am.
parental rights. Yeah. Fuck you. Don't get out of your fucking car.
I ain't gonna give up. Got too little time, I'ma live up. Head down, push forward through the tough times. Cause anything worth doing is a tough climb. And I ain't gonna give up. Got too little time, I'ma live up. Head down, push forward through the tough times. Cause anything worth doing is a tough climb.
Cause I'ma live life for the fight, yeah, I'm here to get it. I got drive, got sight, always have a vision. I go by at night, I be in my feelings. I'ma be fine, need time, and I'll soon be winning. I live life for the fight, yeah, I'm here to get it. I got drive, got sight, always have a vision. I go by at night, I be in my feelings. I'ma be fine, need time, and I'll soon be winning.
Give me your badge number.
I can't say anything, can
Give me your badge number. That's all I asked for.
I? Ma'am?
Give me your badge number.
Ma'am?
Give me your badge number. Give me your badge number. You fucking little prick.
So I wanted to play that. I made that I made that outro for her too, but that was like when I very first started. Not very first, but it wasn't as good at editing yet. But like watching that now, I would have done a lot of things different. You need to learn as you go. Like it wasn't like video, it was just still frames, but like you can make it more interesting. Like you can put transitions in between when you cut to a new picture, and then you can kind of slowly zoom in, you know what I mean? And then you can slowly zoom out, you know what I mean? Like just makes it more interesting than just a plain picture like that. So, but what else? What any other videos? You know, we could play we'll play some teasers of hers. I won't play the whole video because they're long, but you guys can go watch them on your own. Like these ones that I edited for her, like this one. Let's put it like this.
I'm standing right here. You're fucked. Dude, you are fucked. Is your body cam activated?
See that red light?
No, I don't see a fucking red light, tard. That's why I'm asking. What about yours? Piggy? So now you don't want to do this tow, huh? Ain't got a warrant.
We got you on video destroying property, cutting this lock off her vehicle. Her way to secure her vehicle, and you destroyed
He's gonna fucking give it back to her. Destroyed. Leave. How about you leave? We'll direct you on the fuck out of here. Leave. And if you fucking come back at 8 o'clock, you better have that fucking warrant. You better have it with a judge's signature on it from Arapahoe County. You better fucking have it. And if you ever do this again, you better fucking have it. Because you're on the fucking radar, buddy.
So that's that one. It's a teaser. That one is this one right here. Lawless Cops Owned. That's Inglewood. And then we got this one. You're breaking the rule. This one's at the federal courthouse. This is I had my first or my second court appearance there for the federal case, and she was there for support. Let's watch this one. Just the teasers, though. You guys can go back and watch them later.
So you're not from the
Don't
government?
take my picture. No, I'm
Oh,
not.
I can take your picture.
He just basically walked in with some liquids.
So, you hand me the phone.
No, I ain't handing you.
Look at this child. This is a U.S. Marshal. Oath violators. Oath violators.
Have a good day.
Oath violators. Oath violators.
And this guy right here, this guy, right?
Oath violators. Oath violators.
That guy. He actually was the one that when I got taken into custody, which by the way, Steve Ward was there. I'm going to call that out on my next public comment. You guys will see. But Steve Ward from City Council at Inglewood showed up there. He was sitting with the troll, the guy that reports back to the troll channel on all of the stuff that happens with that case. He was there. But this guy was the one that took me into custody, and he's actually a pretty nice guy. But he is an oath violator, though, but trying to kick him out of that little public lobby area there like that. And, in this federal courthouse, you're required to show ID to even come into the courthouse. That's a total violation of your Fourth Amendment right. You shouldn't have to show your ID to go into a courthouse. They're all public court proceedings. You know what I mean? But like these judges just get away with that stuff because somebody has to challenge it and then get arrested. Right. And then you have to go fight it in court, and you're in contempt of court. They give you, I don't know how much they can give you, like a year, I think, or at least 6 months they could give you if they want to for contempt of court. And then you got to take it to court and fight it. But then you can't take it to this court. Right. Like they're just going to say, no, we can do that. And then you got to take it to the higher court and spend thousands and thousands of dollars. So it's difficult. If you don't got a bunch of money, they just bully you. So and then I think there's maybe one or two more. So that one was you're breaking the rule, federal oath breaker. And then we got this one here. Cop caught harassing homeless vet.
It's all on.
You're a f***ing scumbag. You have a problem with the homeless and you treat them poorly. You don't. You targeted Crystal and Jeremy, and they need to eat. And you don't want them here while you allow all the other homeless folks to live in the parking lot. You're a maniac, dude. Don't you touch my camera. Take it easy. Take it easy. No, you don't get my phone.
Hey kid, don't ever let them get inside your head. They'll tell you what to do in life instead.
So that's that one. That one is this one. Tell IA said hi. Cop caught harassing, and then she got a few other ones. All these too. I guess there's a lot actually. This one was a pretty popular one.
You said that we allow you to record. You don't allow me to do anything, sir. I have the right to record.
I'm gonna tell y'all right now, you better fire him while you're ahead. I mean, this guy is out of his mind. And if that attorney gave him that advice, you also need to fire him and ask for a refund. If you just do your damn job, we wouldn't even be here. Do you get that?
I can tell you right now, you don't have my consent to record me outside of this room and outside of the city
I don't
council
need your
meeting.
consent. How's that? You want to arrest me? Do it.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness.
So that's that one. She's got a lot of good ones on here. She's got, oh, this one's good. Let's just go in order. This one's actually pretty good too.
A mask. That guy's not wearing a mask. There's several people not wearing a mask, man.
Yeah, I gave it to him. Okay.
I have business here, though. How do we get through? I mean, you guys Dude, there's like 3 people in the lobby not wearing a mask. Why are you singling me out?
Call a supervisor.
Call supervisor, man.
Sir, are you denying us the ability to bond someone out of jail right now? So you're going to hold somebody indefinitely because we can't post a bond? Call a supervisor. Call a supervisor. See?
Call the supervisor?
Huh?
Call the
Fuck
supervisor?
no, he's just sitting there. Call a supervisor. Call a supervisor. Please.
Okay, I'm going back.
So no security?
I guess not. Let's go.
Hey, do not enter the building.
Huh?
Do not enter.
Do not enter.
That's not a mask here.
A mask?
That's the boss order I'm giving you.
Are you gonna arrest me? Are you gonna arrest me?
Call a supervisor.
There's no law.
It's not a law.
Call a
You can't
supervisor.
arrest me.
Jeremy said, that's a lawful order I'm giving you right now. But then he just said, it's not a law. The people that we employ, guys, right? The imbeciles that we employ. This moron is a law enforcement officer. He works for Denver County Sheriff's Office. Just said that he's giving us a lawful order. And then 5 seconds later, he says, it's not a law. So that's what the definition of a lawful order is, guys. For somebody to give you a lawful order, there has to be an actual law to back it up.
Go back, get a mask, and enter here.
No. She's not wearing a mask. That guy over there is not wearing a mask. You're not wearing a mask.
And you're talking to her. And you're talking to her. How come you don't have a mask on?
But you guys got to leave.
Call a
Why is there other
supervisor.
people here not wearing a mask.
Call a
Call
supervisor.
man. Call supervisor.
We need to go
Where do
post
we
bond.
bond out? Yeah, we're posting
Right
a
there.
bond, man. Posting bond. There's other people in here not wearing masks, bro. Ridiculous, man.
Take a number. Do not sit. Wow. What is this shit?
You can sit right here.
Sit, but come on.
Shut up.
What? I can't hear you. I can't hear you. Call a supervisor.
Well, you guys got to leave, get a mask.
Just watch this
Just
one, it's a short
denying
video.
everybody business. They just turned around and left.
And they don't care about the day.
Gosh, man, all this is to try to bond someone out of jail.
That's what I'm talking about.
Ridiculous, man. There was 3 other people in here not wearing masks.
I
A
know.
lady walked right past not wearing a mask, and he's gonna holler about us wearing a mask because we have camera. He's not wearing a mask, man.
Like literally. I've been thinking that, and
Totally came right in not wearing a mask.
Mm-hmm.
His name is.
Card, please. Can we have your card, please?
You know better than that. You're not supposed to be recording for me.
Can I have your card,
We're leaving.
please?
We're leaving. We need to see your card.
Just need your card.
I don't have a card.
What's your name?
Name.
Sorry, I don't have a card.
Bassar? B-A-S-S-A-R?
I'm gonna go to DPD and they're gonna come and they're gonna put you guys for trespassing.
No, they're not.
Oh, SARR.
C-
What's your badge number?
S-A-R-R.
Badge number.
1792.
1792.
Badge number
All right, man, you better, bud.
1792.
Suck.
Thanks for the shitty customer service.
Yeah, you suck. Man.
Who won this one?
We'll see you inside.
Oh, really? We'll see you inside? Who won this one? Not you, fucker.
I ain't gonna give up. Got too little.
That one was actually pretty funny. I mean, that whole mask thing, dude. Like, I remember when I went to Target, because Target, they didn't make you wear masks if you had a medical condition. And like, there was this teenager, the cashier, like freaking out, and like she's having like a panic attack because I wasn't wearing a mask. And I was like, I have a medical condition, I can't wear one. That's why I came to Target, because you guys don't force it. And she was like, "Oh, but you're putting everyone at risk." And like, dude, like this fear mongering, man. Like you're just you're buying this hook, line, and sinker, man. It's crazy.
Tell her why you're taking her home and she's in the middle of dealing with her dad's death. Tell her.
I'm finally at peace, I thought. But I don't want to leave.
What else you got in there that you want?
Nothing. They took it all from me.
Look at him. Look at this motherfucker taunting. Look at him. This is your Denver Fire Department right here. Snap a picture of that. Right there. That's a great picture. Screenshot that. Screenshot that.
But I'm only too long. It hurts to watch your blue eyes fade to gray as you fade away. As you fade away.
So that one is, if you guys go watch these, leave her a comment, let her know that I sent you. Denver PD tows ladies camper. This one right here, cops and fire department steal a woman's home. And then this one's for the fire department. I think it's the last one.
How come there's business cards over there for people to take, members of the public? Ma'am, I'm asking a question. Ma'am, hello, I'm talking to you.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 cops for a lady with a camera.
I'm a fire investigator. I'm not internal affairs. I need to get a hold of a representative that
Okay,
can take care
well,
of
you
you.
said come with me. We'll take care
We'll
of this
step
outside.
Yes, we'll stay outside.
Outside of where? You just shut the gate. You just shut me in here.
So that's that one. That's the fire department goes rogue one. And this is the last one she did in Inglewood that I edited up for her. This one's just like body cams. I don't think I have, there's no teasers in it. Wait, there might be. Let's see if there's teasers on this one. No, this one doesn't have teasers. See, she ended up with 5,000 on that one. But yeah, this is her channel. So go check it out. Mostly live streams that she does. Oh, here's the live stream of that same dude. I edited that up for her. She got some that like this Littleton. This one's only 4 minutes. It's got 48,000 views. Let's watch this.
We
just at Planet Fitness?
Yeah, but what am I being detained for? In the grocery store.
Yeah, we're investigating something real quick.
Yeah.
Just make a phone call. Just keep calling.
Well, I know my rights, so I hope you guys know what you're doing.
That's fine. 4 to 1. Actually, if there's a unit available, can they swing by Planet Fitness? There is a white Honda sedan next to a black pickup truck. We're trying to contact the white sedan.
Can I have your card, please?
Yeah, when we're done with the contact, I'm happy to give you one.
So what am I being detained for?
Why can't he just give the card right then? I don't understand. It takes him 2 seconds to get in his pocket and hand a business card. They do that because in hopes that they'll forget about it or something like that. I never understood their logic on, yeah, you can have it after we're done. Because that's happened to me a bunch of times. Yeah, I'll give it to you when we're done. And then they end up leaving or something happens and I get caught up with something else and then I don't get the card. That's why they do that. Because they don't want you to file a complaint on them.
Because if you can't tell me why,
No,
I'm
'cause
going to
we're
continue my
investigating-
shopping.
No, you can't. We're investigating a crime right now.
Oh, yeah.
So just
Well,
give
I
us-
wasn't involved in any crime,
Okay,
so.
that's fine. I understand. And if you're not, then you're free to go.
What crime?
We're gonna-
Real quick, guys. And Regan's really smart, so she knows the law a lot better than most. And a lot of auditors get stuff wrong where they say, oh, you can't detain me to do your investigation. You do your investigation first, and then you can detain me. But that's actually not true. And I've used that before too, because, I've just said stuff, repeat things, that I hear when I first started my channel. And then, as I continue to do this, I learn more. And I definitely am a lot more educated now than I was when I first started. But that doesn't mean that you have to know every law when you first start. I mean, I hardly knew anything. I've admitted that several times when I first started, but I still made a good impact, when I first started, not knowing that much. And I learned a lot from you guys, from my subscribers, and then doing my own research. But they can detain you, the courts have ruled they can detain you for an investigatory stop, right? So that's not true that they can't detain you. And Regan understands that, so good on her.
I'll let you know here in a second.
No, it doesn't work that way.
It does
What
work that way.
crime am I
Just hang
being
on.
investigated for?
Hang on. Just let him figure it out, please.
You're going to figure it out and then
Yeah.
tell me?
Yeah.
Holy shit. Okay. This is getting good.
What?
You guys should have done a better investigation.
No, because we didn't expect you to be here.
What do you mean? I've been here for an hour.
We literally came here looking for you.
I've been in this store for over an
Yes.
hour.
Yeah, and we didn't expect you to walk right by us. So just give us a second.
Oh my
Let him
God.
figure it out.
You guys. Holy shit.
He's the investigating officer. He's letting him finish the phone call.
So you're going to make up the crime and then tell me what it is? Well, you should already know what the crime is.
How about burglary? How about that? How about third-degree burglary?
Third-degree burglary?
Yeah.
Illegal detention isn't predicated on an investigation or not. It's predicated on if they have RAS. That's what a lot of people say. But what I'm saying is that I think that's a misconception. So the courts have ruled, I don't know the case law. I'd have to go find it again. But they can do investigatory detention. Unfortunately, I don't think that they should be able to, but I don't use that whole do your investigation first and then detain me thing anymore.
Yeah.
Okay. That's what you're investigating right now?
Yes.
You're investigating me for third-degree burglary?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. This is getting interesting.
Just so you know, there's probably a better camera angle.
No,
right
I want
there.
my own camera. How come you guys don't have body cams?
You're Reagan?
My first name is Regan.
Reagan, I'm sorry. So, I was just trying to ask, just trying to figure out if you saw anyone in there walk out with a black backpack.
So am I being investigated for a crime?
No.
If I'm being investigated, I'm not going to answer your questions. If you would like cooperation in an investigation, you need to articulate that. Because if you're accusing me,
We don't know if you're a suspect. We don't know if you're not a suspect.
so you're eliminating suspects?
Kind of, basically.
Yeah. I saw you guys out in the parking lot when I left, talking to the woman by the white car.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
you know exactly what we're talking
No, I don't know exactly what you're talking
about.
about, but I was in Planet Fitness when you guys were out there. Did you see me walk out of the building?
No, we didn't.
You should check the cameras. How did you know I was over here? How did you identify me?
We didn't know you were here.
Well, how did you know who I was?
Because you were described as being the suspicious person that could have stolen the backpack. We're in here, and here you are. The description of the person was given as a possible suspect.
Huh.
So guys, Planet Fitness is literally next door to this King Soopers. So, I mean, just think about it logically. If somebody's going to go steal a backpack from Planet Fitness, are they going to just go next door right after and just go start grocery shopping?
That makes sense?
So you watched cameras.
We can't get cameras right now. Can't get cameras there or King Supers.
That's great. Okay, guys. So you're investigating me for burglary. I'm not going to answer your questions.
Did you see anybody-
better know what you're doing.
Yeah, believe me, I know what I'm doing.
Hmm.
Was there anybody you saw carry out a black backpack?
No, I don't pay attention to anybody in there. I worked out and I left.
Okay. So there wouldn't be like a black backpack in here.
No, there's not a black backpack in.
I don't understand. Is that a rhetorical question? I mean, is that your investigation, bro? There wouldn't be a black backpack in your car, would there? Like, even if she took the backpack, she thinks she's got, oh yeah, there's a backpack. Like, why do you ask dumb questions like that, dude?
In my car.
Would you be willing to let us check?
No, I absolutely do
What
not
color was her
consent to
wallet?
searches.
Black.
Sorry.
Cool. Do we have anything else? All right, you're good to go. Thank you. Have a good one.
Yeah, you too.
Sorry, guys. I exited my own freaking live stream here. See if there's any other ones. We're almost done with watching Regan's. But let's see. Let's see what else we got here. Hold on. Share screen. See if there's anything else that I can lead you guys to real quick. We got. Oh, I was doing popular. I think that was pretty much it. Look, you guys remember this guy? Look. What was his name? Can't remember his name, but he was in that video that her and I did at the Inglewood block party. Or he was ignoring us, not talking to us. And he's the Inglewood guy. That was a month ago. That's pretty much it. So you guys should go watch those. All the ones, the cool ones with the thumbnails, those are the ones that have the most views. They're the most entertaining. And that's why I say that it's good to edit videos, because a lot of people, they want to be entertained. And so if you make it entertaining for them, then you can reach more people. So. Okay. Cool, man. I'm not an attorney, bro. And I didn't hear that from an attorney either. So I did read the case law. I can't talk to you right now. I did read some case law about it, though. But so, I mean, I'm not saying that I'm right for sure. I'm just saying I don't say that anymore. I don't say do your investigation first and then you can detain me. I don't do that. So what do you guys want to do now? You guys want to watch another video, or is there any other topics? Look at all these thumb drives I got. For anyone that says I don't put in the work, I'm not a real activist or anything. I don't think people say that, but see these are all public records requests for body cams and pictures and all kinds of different stuff that I've done. Now, I think this is mostly shared into. Might be some other ones in here, but you know, if you're claiming to be an activist and you just kind of, you know, record it and you toss it up on YouTube and then you do no follow up afterwards, that's not activism, dude. That's like clicks and views, like the trolls say. You know, like I do so much stuff that I don't get paid for. Like I didn't get paid for all that stuff. It cost me money, actually. You know what I mean? So, like, you got to file the complaints. Like when I say, yeah, I'm going to go file a complaint, like you can be assured that I filed the complaint. And most of the time it leads to nothing, to be honest with you. Like I'd say, well, so far, is it 100%? Or was there one? I think it's 100% of the time out of my 3.5 years that either they completely ignore the complaint and they don't respond at all, or they investigated themselves and found no wrongdoing. So that just goes to show, you know what I mean, that it's corrupt as shit. But at least I'm trying, you know, at least I'm putting it in there. It goes on the record, you know, that somebody filed a complaint at least. No, I don't think you sound argumentative at all. And a lot of people say that. They say, you know, you got to do your investigation first and then detain someone. And so maybe they're right. I don't know. Again, I make mistakes all the time. I'm just a human being. But if you have any case law, you should email it to me, bro, about that. You said you talked to some attorneys. Maybe they could tell you some case law. So I'm always open to being more educated. All right, I gotta pee. Can you guys wait? Here, let me play something for you guys while I pee. See what we got. We'll do it like an outro or something. Let's do. This is one of my favorite ones. Okay, I'll be right back. All right, we back. So what do you guys want to do? Bye, Crofty. Thanks for coming in. Oh, you know, I know. It's crickets. It's getting pretty quiet in here. You know, with only 6 people, you guys got to keep the conversation going, you know? I can only talk so much before I run out of stuff to say. Give me a topic or something. I guess I'll just play some of that book then, if no one's got anything. I'll give it 15 more seconds and then I'll just play the book. No, dude, I haven't. I've heard of Lane Myers. I don't, dude, I say this all the time. I'm like the last one to know what's going on with stuff, dude. I'm the last one to know when people get arrested. Like I don't have time to really like pay attention to other people's activism because I'm so behind on my own stuff. Like I've been saying I need to edit videos now for like weeks, bro. And like, I'm so busy. There's always like stuff that comes up that I have to do. So, and then a lot of times, like when I'm in my downtime, like right now, I was out all day running errands. I don't really want to watch like videos, but what's going on with him? I heard he's like badass and he got like a video that we could watch or something. What's going on with that, with the saga? Let's see. Let's look him up. Lane Myers. Lane Myers channel for nonviolent social change. A lot of people like this dude. Man, his most popular video is 2 hours and 21 minutes long a year ago. And he's got this one. Let's watch this one. It's 2 minutes.
There and do my stuff, but he's crowding me out.
You cannot film in the courtroom.
Absolutely. I'm not in the courtroom. I'm in the public.
You cannot,
I can though. So look,
listen,
I can. What's your name and badge number?
You need to leave.
Sir, I'm trying to make an appointment with the prosecuting attorney.
You can make it by phone call.
No, I'm here right now, and I'm not doing anything wrong, and it's all being video recorded both by you guys and by me. I'm allowed to record in here. It's my First Amendment right. I'm exercising my First Amendment right, okay? And I wasn't recording until he started.
Listen.
What? I'm not being detained. Am I being detained?
You need to keep
Am I
your
being
voice
detained?
down.
Okay.
You need to keep your voice down.
Sir, why are you walking towards me?
And you need to.
Sir, I feel
want to
threatened.
make.
I want to feel threatened. You can
Well,
make
then
it.
you can leave if you feel threatened. You don't have to be.
I'm being threatened by public officials.
And you can leave.
Sir, you know what a Section 1983 is of the U.S. Constitution?
If you feel threatened, then leave.
Sir, I feel threatened by you.
Why?
Because you're crowding, you continue to walk towards me aggressively for no reason. I'm not doing anything wrong. I'm talking to the prosecuting attorney. This guy came around the corner.
You asked for me for help, so I want to make sure that you're getting help.
Because I
You're
thought,
not coming at me.
because
You're not coming at me.
I'm not coming at you.
There you go. See, we can play this all day.
Play what?
Your game back.
There's no game here, sir. This is public business.
All right.
This is official business.
Then you can handle my phone if you feel threatened.
I feel threatened by you.
Why?
Section 1983, you're violating my constitutional rights.
How am I doing that?
Because you won't let me get to my stuff sitting over there.
Then walk past me.
I don't feel safe.
Why not?
Because I called you to enforce the rules that you're governed by on your partner and ask him to step back because all he's doing is.
You know what you can do?
You can't, so you're not going to hold your partner accountable?
No.
Okay. Can you please call a supervisor?
No.
Are you this?
I've already told him how to get to a supervisor.
Are you guys?
What you can do, I'll tell you how to get to a supervisor.
I-
You can walk out that door, walk all the way around the block and talk to
Can I please finish making my appointment with the prosecuting attorney?
I thought you wanted a supervisor.
That's next.
Okay.
Do you know how silly you look right now?
Exactly. I know.
You know how silly you look.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
I know exactly how silly I look.
You've committed a Section 1983 violation of my U.S. constitutional rights,
I
right?
don't know how I did that, but go ahead.
You're going to find out.
Okay.
If you shouldn't have a badge and a gun if you don't know what a Section 1983 is.
I probably shouldn't.
You're admitting all this standing in the courthouse in Nuevo County.
While dealing with what was an apparent assault.
Yeah, I do. I know exactly how silly I look. Wow.
There and do my stuff, but he's crowding me out.
Yeah, I know exactly how silly I look. Dang, his most popular videos are like long live streams and stuff. See the dogs now, they're over there eating their food. Like I'll give them food because I give my dogs good food. Like today they're eating the same food. I feed my dogs the same thing that I eat. So it's like some gumbo that my mom made. It's like a soup. See? It's like it's got carrots, mushrooms, celery. It's like some chicken broth and chicken and like wild rice. So I'll give it to them and then they'll pick out all the chicken, right? And they'll leave everything else. And then like eventually when they get hungry, I just leave their bowls there and they'll get hungry. And now one of them, I don't know if it's low for many, is over there eating it. Like they'll eat it when they get hungry, but at first they try to be picky about it. It is good. My mom's a good cook. It would. People that have really good, they have what it takes, but they don't have the editing. Their channels will blow up. Like Regan. She's like, she doesn't want to learn. She doesn't want to. So I try to tell her. But again, you go look at her videos. The most popular ones are the ones that, most of them are the ones that I edited for her. And there was another one that I wanted to edit for her. I might just do a showcase on that on my own channel. She's got tons. I could go through her channel and just pick stuff out and like edit it up and do a reaction video on it. Okay, so I'm going to play. We're going to play some of this book. And then we'll stop and like break some of the parts down.
Freedom, written and read by Adam Kokesh. Right now is an amazing time to be alive. The human experience is as rich and delightful as ever, and every day carries the promise of a better world. Not everyone sees it that way, but on the whole, Team People is doing very well. We have come a long way, and that's something worth taking a step back to appreciate. But the current path is not sustainable. Governments are transferring more wealth than ever from the poor to the rich. We are rapidly approaching a point where we must adapt or perish. The short view of history tempts pessimism. We might see the recent steps backward as the triumph of evil over good, or at least a turn toward mutual annihilation. They are merely the steps backward in a long progression of one step backward and two steps forward. A truly free society does not exist just because we have been convinced we are free. A truly free society cannot exist when we have been so thoroughly propagandized as to define freedom in terms of government-granted privilege rather than as a universal moral principle. However, a free society is inevitable because the global paradigm is shifting as we learn how to better assert our right of self-ownership. We all know life is better with freedom, that our own individual experiences don't mean nearly as much without the ability to assert our will rather than having our choices limited by force. Many of us today still experience lives dominated by the edicts of others. Many still live under the threat of death from war. While some are doing relatively well and enjoying a great deal of personal wealth and autonomy, many are not. Even those who are doing well are living in a less vibrant and robust environment due to violations of individual freedom around the world. Any act of violence or threat of violence between individuals represents a violation of someone's freedom. The great illusion of the current paradigm of statism is that governments achieve a worthwhile reduction of violence. Governments are the greatest cause of violence in the world today. They are coercive monopolies with only an illusion of public support.
Governments have genocide hundreds of millions of people in the last century. They are the most violent threat to freedom that exists.
Everything they do is based on a presumed right to point guns at people who are acting peacefully. Many of us are dependent on government, and because it takes on a large role in society, one can claim that everyone benefits to some degree. This doesn't mean the benefits justify the cost, and the vast majority of us experience a net loss due to government. Even if we are convinced that most people have a net gain from government, we can always do better without the violence.
One thing that Adam Kokesh said one time, he said, because most Americans pay half their income to the government, right? And some people disagree, but if you take your taxes, your income tax, your property tax, your registration of your vehicles, your driver's license, your speeding ticket, right? Your hunting license, you want to pay for permission for permits to, remodel your house or whatever it is, right? It's about half. It's about 50%. You work 6 months out of the year to pay the government. And he said something that really struck a chord with me one time. He said, if you could make all of your money and half of your income just evaporated and went into the memory hole, that would actually be better than government taking it from you by force and using it to enact violent policies against you.
Freedom is the ability to exercise your will within your rights without the threat of force from anyone else. It's really that simple. You own yourself. No one can claim even partial ownership over you without violating your rights. By abolishing statism, we will achieve a world free of miserable victims and miserable victimizers. We will create a world in which all relations are free of force and coercion. We will see each other as partners in the human experience, united in our desire to live free and realize our potential. We are destined to build a society based on respect and cooperation. Chapter 1, The Philosophy. Section 1, Freedom. Freedom is what you have when no one is forcing their will on you. Everyone inherently recognizes this as a good thing because we all value our power to make decisions. We all value making decisions without being threatened. Unfortunately, most of us have not taken the time to consider the precise nature of freedom and its foundation in universal, undeniable principles. Applying those principles to big issues may be complicated, but the concept of freedom is not. When applied consistently, it shows the way to a more harmonious society. If somebody is forcing their will on us, clearly we are not free. So perhaps it is helpful to think of freedom not as a substance, but as an ideal state of social harmony in which no one is forcing their will on anyone else. A violation of freedom is an attack on a particular victim whose will is being forcibly hindered by taking their life, stealing their property, or threatening them with assault. Freedom is not just an ideal state of society, but a moral code for respecting the rights of others. Self-ownership is an integral part of being human. You own yourself. You own your body. You own your labor. For anyone to assert otherwise is to attempt to restrict your freedom or make you a slave. Because you own yourself, it is wrong for someone to initiate force against you or your property. Acceptance of the simple fact is the foundation of a free and peaceful society. This universal non-aggression principle applies to everyone, and it is therefore wrong to kill, injure, assault, steal from, or threaten another person. Anyone who directly violates others, supports the violation of others, or violates others on behalf of someone else is holding us back from achieving our potential through the harmonious and mutually beneficial transactions that take place in freedom. Section 2. Government.
Sorry, I fixed it. Like he said, anyone that advocates for people to use violence and coercion and enforce martial law in these third world countries is a violation of your freedom. And, you know, Adam Kokesh was an Iraq war veteran. He fought in Fallujah in 2004. He was with, what was his unit? Public Affairs, I think it was called. And so, you know, he didn't see a lot of combat, but he did see some combat. And he said that I tortured people. You know, like they would put people tied, like handcuffed behind their back, sitting on the concrete in Indian style position with blindfolds on their head for hours and hours and hours. Dude, that's torture, man. It might not seem like torture, but be handcuffed. My shoulder's bad. If I'm even handcuffed for like 30 minutes, my shoulder starts aching. Try being handcuffed and sitting in an Indian style position on hard concrete for hours and hours on end, bro, and see how uncomfortable, see if that's not torture.
Very few people, even among government workers, have taken the time to consider a precise definition of government. Governments get away with what they do because their true nature is obscured by propaganda. Most definitions describe government as the people in charge, but the foundation of control is always the threat of force. The authority claimed by governments is unique because it is considered licensed to use force or coercion against peaceful people. There is simply no way around it. Government is control by force.
You know, I've said this analogy before, but government has a monopoly on the use of force. They're allowed to do it, but you can't, right? They're the epitome of do as I say, not as I do. And Thomas Jefferson said, tyranny is defined as that which is legal for the government, but illegal for the citizenry. So if I see a homeless guy, right? Like earlier in the stream, I was talking about the homeless guy that I was talking to. And, you know, clearly he's having a hard time. He's got a broken leg. He's on crutches. He's dirty. He's got a sign. And then I see some lady with a Louis Vuitton purse. You know what I'm saying? Clearly she's got money. She just got out of her Tesla. Does that give me the right to go steal her purse so I can give the money to the homeless guy? I mean, she's not going to miss the money, right? No one would be like, oh yeah, that's okay. It's a fundamental principle that we all learn. Don't hit, right? Not don't hit unless you're government. Right. So government gets to do it, but we can't do it. I mean, it's asinine to think that, yeah, if you're government, then yeah, you can do that kind of stuff. Because literally that's what it is. It's force. They take stuff by force. People think that taxation isn't violent, but you know, what happens if you don't pay your taxes? Eventually men with guns will come and take you away and lock you in a cage. And if you refuse to cooperate with your own kidnapping, they'll tase you, shoot you, beat you up, or whatever they have to do. It's violent.
Government apologists claim it's acceptable for a government to do something that an individual would never be allowed to do. This is why governments come up with special words to obscure what they're really doing. War is mass murder. If an individual commits murder on their own, it is a crime and they should face consequences. But if an individual commits murder as part of a massive organized effort, they might get a medal. Taxation is theft. If an individual kidnaps you for not giving them half your income, they go to jail. But if someone does that to you on behalf of government, they get a nice salary as a tax collector. No justification for these actions changes their fundamentally immoral nature. Nothing about the divine right of kings, the will of the people, or the rule of law has the power to justify an immoral act. Violent enforcers are essential to governments because without them, their threats would be meaningless. To say that governments are premised on immorality is not to say everything they do is immoral. They often claim monopolies over very important functions in society, like helping the poor or protecting natural resources. The poor would be much better off and the environment would be much better protected if we did not entrust those functions to the same people who make war. Even when a government gives money to someone in need, it must first steal that money from someone else. No noble act can excuse theft, as much as governments would like us to believe. Government is fundamentally immoral because it is based on violating the rights of individuals. As much as we have progressed, it has not been because of governments, but despite them. As free, beautiful, independent human beings, we own ourselves and should never let anyone tell us otherwise. We deserve self-rule. We deserve to be in charge of our own lives. No one has the right to control others by force, even if they claim to have the majority behind them. It may be that in the course of society's development, some control.
Democracy. Democracy, I think Benjamin Franklin said, democracy is two wolves and a sheep voting on what's for dinner. That's what democracy is. It's majority rules. And it's a horrible form of government. If you listen to the founders of this country, like they always talked bad about democracy. It's terrible. And if you look at the democracies that have been in the past, they're failures. And we don't have a democracy. We have a constitutional republic, but they kind of like, everyone refers to it as like a democracy. And they want people to just get used. It's like a psyop. They want you to get used to democracy. Because, I mean, maybe that's what they're planning on doing is democracy. I don't know.
Control by force was inevitable. Out of weakness, we support some institutionalized violence only because we haven't figured out a better way. We may have been convinced that government is a necessary evil, but because persuasion is always more powerful than coercion, it is inevitable that we will render it unnecessary. Government is like a cancer. Less government is better than more government, just as less cancer is better than more cancer, but as long as it exists, it's a threat. As long as society accepts the idea that force is the way to solve problems, the only limit on violence is what enforcers cannot be convinced to do. Government today could be described as a global tumor. While it can be eradicated locally, we will only be safe when it has been completely abolished.
Just how he talks about cancer. Government's like cancer, right? Just as less cancer is better than more cancer, in the same way, less government's better than more government. And why would you cut out 97% of cancer just to leave the 3% to eventually grow back into full-blown cancer, right? That's like when we seceded from England in 1776 from a tyrannical government that wanted to increase taxes by 1%, right? But now we're totally cool with paying half our income to the government. You know, when the founding of this country, it was great, but it always leads. It's like cancer, you know, and you only got 3% cancer. It's great. But eventually it turns into full-blown cancer, man. And what do? Then you fight another revolutionary war, right? And then, like Adam Kokesh told me, he said, you know, one thing we can learn from history is that we don't learn from history. So what do? We have a revolutionary war. All right, guys, let's figure out our new government, our new form of government, right? We're going to get it right this time. That's what they thought. That's what the founders thought in the United States. We're going to get it right this time, guys. Right? And now look at us, right? So that's what's going to happen. Have a revolutionary war, and we'll set up a new form of government because we don't learn from history. And, you know, it'll be great for 100 years or so. And then, you know, it's just going to end up like the way it is now. Absolute power corrupts absolutely.
Government is control. Government is exploitation. Government is a protection racket. Government is disorder, violence, and conflict. Government is an idea so good that it has to be forced on us. Government is a group of people claiming a monopoly on the initiation of force in a specific territory. Government is the institutionalization of our worst desires to control, dominate, and take advantage of others by force. Governments reflect our tolerance for oppression, and all we need to do to defeat them is demand self-government. Section 3, Statism. Systems of control that depend on victim participation reflect the way we think. If we believe a strong central authority with power over us is necessary, that is the kind of government we will get. Seeking and resisting control have always been part of life, but over time we have demanded more self-government. We have moved from acceptance of crude slavery and serfdom to demanding some role in participatory government. Statism is the ideology of turning to organized force to solve problems better solved through peaceful persuasion.
You know, government will say, you have to have these services through us. Without us, who will build the roads, right? Like, government has ideas so great that they have to be forced upon you. right? If an idea is really great, it doesn't need to be forced upon you. The free market can handle that.
Considering how much force and violence have shaped our destiny, it is understandable why statism is so tempting. Do you care about the poor? Want to protect the environment? Care about national security? Value a society that makes education freely available? Governments would like you to think that you have done your part on important social issues by voting and paying your taxes without thinking critically. The threat of violence makes government monopolies and other organized crime distinct from voluntary organizations. Even the good things they achieve are made possible by coercion. Over the course of human history, as we have demanded more self-government, the government racket has adapted. At one point, it was accepted that whoever could pick up the biggest rock was in charge. Then we had to be convinced of the divine right of a king or queen. Then we needed a vote to be satisfied. The racket will be plenty lucrative until we see it for what it is. As we demand self-ownership rather than participation in the oppression known as democracy, the racket will become impossible. If it is wrong for one person to do something, why is it acceptable when 51% of a voting population agrees to hire someone to do it for them? Democracy is not freedom. When fully living up to its ideal, democracy is at best a majority coming up with an excuse to impose its will on a minority. More often, it is a completely bogus pretense for the powerful to exploit the rest of us as much as possible without creating more discontent than they can manage. Democracy also conveniently provides a false outlet for discontent with the promise of change from the next election. As long as people demand a protection racket, they will get one. Regardless of what it is called or what false ideology is used to justify it, government is based on forcing ideas on people. Statism is the dominant paradigm today because most of us are in denial or ignorant of its true nature. Dependence on government makes it scary to consider something new. When enough of us realize the ideals of freedom and turn to cooperative solutions instead of turning to force to solve problems, the paradigm of statism will have passed, and the government racket will be seen for what it really is before it is quickly abolished.
Remember when I was talking about earlier today in another stream about the Truman Show and how the Truman Show is only successful because Truman believes in his reality? He believes in it. That's the same thing with government. It only works because everyone believes it's necessary, right? It's a necessary evil. Well, that's like saying that evil is necessary. Let's make evil unnecessary, right? As soon as we all stand up, it's game over for them.
Section 4. Property. It takes severely twisted logic and a low sense of self-worth to deny that you own yourself. The very act of asserting this falsehood proves it wrong because the act of self-expression is an exercise of self-ownership. Anything less than self-ownership is slavery. All concepts of rights come from self-ownership. Your self-ownership is the acknowledgement by others of your right to control yourself. If you do not assert control over something of value, someone else will. Without the assertion of self-ownership, there is no freedom. Self-ownership means you have freedom of speech because you own your voice and can say what you want. If someone beats, steals from, or imprisons you for your speech, they are not violating your right to free speech as much as they are violating your self-ownership because they didn't like what you said. Self-ownership means you have the right to remain silent because to force someone to speak is an attempt to control their property by threatening them. Self-ownership means your body is a manifestation of your own unique conscious choices, and no one can take that away from you. Because you own yourself, you are responsible for your actions. If you break something that belongs to another, you owe them what is necessary to make them whole. This also means you are responsible for and own what you produce. If you create something of value by combining natural resources with your labor, you have a right to control it. You can destroy it, consume it, trade it, or give it away. This simple framework for property by itself has the potential to solve many important disputes. It is not possible for everyone to enjoy perfectly equal access to natural resources. But in a society which respects the rights of individuals, it is wrong to limit anyone's access to resources that are not being utilized. Thus, it is wrong to pollute in a way that spoils natural resources others could use or enjoy. It is wrong to claim land in order to prevent its use. It is wrong to limit access to natural resources for those who would put them to good use. Just as you have a right to defend yourself and decide how to do it, you have a right to assign relative value to your property and decide how to defend it. Under the current paradigm of statism, many governments take away these choices. Whether you like it or not, part of your income will fund a system that is based on injustice and a corrupt sense of property. A thorough respect for the principles of property is essential to a free, cooperative, and peaceful society. Most conflicts center around property disputes. Disputes are sometimes based on confusion or sincere disagreement, but more often they are based on false claims to property. Such false claims are central to governments, which often assert that they, or the collectives they represent, own your income or your body. Governments also serve to enforce all types of false property constructs to serve the interests of the super rich. By obscuring the simple concept of property rights, governments have been able to commit untold injustice by transferring property from the poor to the rich. Justice requires a solid foundation in property rights. Section 5. Voluntarism. From the foundation of self-ownership, we can build a system of justice based on property rights and the non-aggression principle. From this sense of justice, we can see that a free society would be one with only relationships free of force and coercion. This ideal would be a society free of violent control and thus without anything like that which we call government today. This ideal society would be voluntary. When all relations are voluntary, it means we enter into every exchange with another person by choice.
You guys know that it's a pretty famous case here in Colorado. There's a baker who refused to bake a cake for a gay couple and went to the court, and they said, hey, you have the right to discriminate. You can refuse business to anyone, doesn't matter what the reason is. I actually went up on, this does not have to do with Eli, the People's Guy, but it was his panel. It was like his panel channel, and he wasn't there. It was just his friends, I guess. And I went up there. I had to like drop out of the panel because it's super toxic. I don't know who those people were, but I was saying about how, yeah, people should be able to discriminate. And I could hardly get a word in because one of the guys kept like just cussing me out. I couldn't even say anything, dude. They just like, that's kind of when they have, like when they don't have a legitimate argument, they just start yelling at you and cussing at you and calling you names. But yeah, discrimination by itself isn't a bad thing, right? You might think it is, but it's not. People discriminate every day. So there's 8 people in here. You guys all have friends, right? And how did you get your friends? You met some people and they have similar interests, similar values, similar goals. And you decided to be friends with them. Well, what about all the other people that didn't have similar interests or goals or values? You discriminated against those people and you decided not to be friends with them, right? It's okay to discriminate. Now, I'm not saying that I think that a baker should refuse business to someone because they're a gay couple. That's not what I'm saying. What I am saying is, like Adam's been saying in this book, you don't need violence and coercion. Like, you don't need that. We can just work in a voluntary society. The free market works if you utilize it. If I don't like that this person is being, discriminatory against gay people, I can just not give them my business, right? When it comes time for me to need a cake, or I'm getting married, I'm getting a cake, I'm not going to them. I'm going to someone else. That's all. It's voluntary. You don't need government to be in control of everything, right? It's called conscious consumerism. That's why people shop at Whole Foods instead of, Kroger, because they don't want to be pumped full of GMOs and hormones and stuff like that. So if you utilize the free market, you can achieve goals without using violence and coercion. Like Ron Paul said, peaceful persuasion is always more effective than violence and coercion.
We choose those exchanges based on what is in our best interest rather than what someone else has chosen for us. When our rights are violated, some choice is taken away from us. When governments say you can't do something, it means that if you do it, force will be used against you. While many of us still enjoy a great deal of independent decision-making, every aspect of our lives is affected by the threat of force. Self-ownership means not only that you own yourself, but everyone owns themselves. The best way to ensure respect for our self-ownership is to respect the rights of others. Fortunately, most of us have no problem recognizing this principle and applying it in our daily lives. Even including government employees, relatively few people make their living directly by theft and murder. Unfortunately, society tends to carve out a special morals-free area for government agents. When you learned don't hit and don't steal, it wasn't unless you work for the government. When you learned not to kill, it wasn't unless a politician says it's okay. Everything government does is made possible by violating someone's rights. Because people are prone to interpersonal violence, the absolute ideal of a purely voluntary society might be impossible. There could be a truly free and voluntary world, but the moment someone gets punched in the face, for the victim, the world is not very free. However, that does not mean we should not strive for a more free and peaceful society, or not work vigorously to eliminate violent aggression. We are living in the most
And you're about to hear him talk about where we're living in the most peaceful times in history. But based on what he just said, you could probably tell that a lot of the stuff that I teach, and I've said this, it comes from this book that I learned from Adam. I mean, I pretty much say things on my channel, on the DMA channel and this channel, that like verbatim, the stuff that he said, I just memorized it because it resonates with me so hard.
For the victim, the world is not very free. However, that does not mean we should not strive for a more free and peaceful society or not work vigorously to eliminate violent aggression. We are living in the most peaceful times in all of human history. Right now, we are less likely than ever before to be subject to violence from another person. That is a beautiful thing and it should be celebrated. Imagine how much more difficult life was for our ancestors living in a world where they had to live in relative fear of their fellow humans. Imagine how much more difficult trade and cooperation were with a lower level of trust. Sadly, governments today have more than replaced our distrust with other false fears, and our lives are more thoroughly governed by force than ever before. In a world without government, a world in which forced relations are the rare exception, trust is high, individual rights are respected, and the climate for cooperation is ideal. Only in this situation is every person capable of achieving their potential. Every time we fail to respect the self-ownership of others, it diminishes our potential. Every threat of force limits choices. Every act of violence holds back humanity. The understanding that we should work toward a free society by ridding all relations of force is known as voluntarism. Chapter 2: A Brief History of Power.
It is the most peaceful time in history because the world is the most governed than it has ever been. Than it has ever been? Not saying I think this, just playing devil's advocate. I think that we're evolving as a species, is what I think. It's true, we are the most governed that we've ever been, but we're the less free that we've ever been, too. I mean, I literally think we're the less free we've ever been. I mean, yeah, like I said, we got cool technology and life is relatively easier because of that. But we're way less free, man, than the founding of this country, dude. Like I said before, we fought this revolutionary war of a 1% increase in tax. I mean, if that was their pitch, that we're gonna have to pay half our income to the government and get permission for every single thing you want to do. I mean, do you think they would have had the same people wanting to fight for that? No, man, they'd been like, dude, fuck that. We're cool under the British rule, dude. But I think we're evolving to be more peaceful. That's just the way it goes. We're still, like I said, a very primitive society. Human beings only been around for like 100,000 years, maybe 150,000, whatever it is, not that much. I mean, there's societies, like I said, aliens and stuff, they've been around for millions of years. And like these aliens, I mean, I don't know if you guys believe in aliens, but I mean, it's pretty much verifiable fact now. Scientists have come out and say, look, dude, there's like so many millions of planets that are like Earth-like planets with, a star that's relatively close, the same distance as our sun is from Earth, right? That have life on them. Dude, like the chances of there not being life on other planets it's like winning the lottery like 3 times in a row or something. Like there's millions and millions, billions of, and that's just in our like galaxy or whatever it is. You know what I mean? The universe is so big. There has to be life on other planets. So there's aliens. And to think that like we're the most advanced of all of them, dude. I mean, that's crazy. And they look at us like very primitive, like look at these people using force and coercion on people. They got this government and they think they're free, but like the government, if you have a government, by definition, you're not free, because to govern by definition is to control by force. So you evolve to become less violent. Like, you look at like some of the torture stuff, like Iron Maiden and all the stuff they used to do back in the old days, stone people to death, crucify them, and then even more recent times, like hanging people, public hangings, the entire town to come out to watch the criminal get hung. And their kids are right there watching it. Everyone's watching it. It's like a day event. That's barbaric, dude. Like that's not even that long ago, like 150 years ago, people are doing that. And you look at that today and be like, man, that was like straight up barbaric stuff they were doing. Like no one could ever see that happening today. Could you imagine that? Lynching some dude that like, robbed a bank or something like that and, and taking your kids out there to go watch it. No, dude, we've evolved to be more peaceful. That's nothing to do with government. but I appreciate your, playing devil's advocate for that. So I think we'll leave it right there. I'm going to read the whole book. I mean, it's a 3-hour long read, but hopefully you guys will, go read that on your own too, because it's a life-changing book, dude. If it wasn't for that, I wouldn't have a channel. I wouldn't have a DMA channel. I'd never started YouTube or anything. And like I said, it only takes you to be able to convince one other person, and that's it. And then they convince one other person, and they convince one other person. And it's like you just keep doubling it and doubling it and doubling it. And eventually a bunch of people find out. And I'm pretty sure you can convince more than just one person, right? I mean, Adam Kokesh convinced me, and I think that I've convinced a bunch of people too. And if they can convince more people, it's only a matter of time. You know what I mean? Before, like Adam says, we have this paradigm shift. We're in the middle of it right now. Like the Chinese said, may you be blessed to live in interesting times. And we're living in interesting times. We're already witnessing the beginning of the end of the war on drugs, right? Which is a violation of the non-aggression principle. I mean, we're getting there. And in my lifetime, I don't think so. Adam seems to think so, but I don't. But soon, maybe our grandchildren. I'm hopeful for that. So that's it, guys. Thanks for coming in. Everyone have a great rest of your night. I appreciate everyone that was in here. John Winchester, Dub Wubs. I don't know who else is in here. No one's really leaving any comments, but I appreciate all you guys. All right. Everyone have a great rest of your night. Peace.